fallen heiress sold herself into a brothel to support a poor scholar's journey to the capital for the imperial exam. The scholar could never repay her devotion. Before he left he swore that once he passed the exam he would dedicate his life to repay her. However, the scholar was gone for 3 years. For 3 years the woman sold her art but not her body and kept the brothel thriving. One day a mysterious man spent a fortune just to meet her. However, the woman was determined to keep her purity and wait for the scholar's return. She ignored the madam's advice, saying that if the scholar had passed the exam he would have returned by now. Soon after, the good news arrived. The scholar had become the top scholar and the procession with drums and gongs was already at the door. The woman ran excitedly to the door. She was overjoyed to see the scholar in his robes, but before she could celebrate she saw a woman following him. She learned that the woman was the emperor's chosen bride and the man could not refuse. All her years of waiting shattered in an instant. Before he could speak, the scheming woman arrogantly said she was willing to let the woman serve as a maid once she entered the household. Facing the woman's scorn and insult, the man did not show any resistance. The woman angrily scolded him, saying that all the money she earned from playing the piano and laughing was to support his studies and his exam. Now he had achieved success but wanted her to be nothing more than a maid beneath even a concubine. The crowd couldn't help but feel that the man was no better than scum. The man, seeing his false mask torn off, no longer pretended. He argued with the woman, saying he was now the top scholar. A woman from a brothel could never be his rightful wife. If word reached the court he would lose all his face. The man thought she was just unable to accept it temporarily, so he said he had already prepared the money to redeem her. When she was willing to be his maid he would come to get her. With that he left with the scheming woman, but the man still underestimated the woman's resolve. The heartless man could go. The woman immediately said anyone who could spend a fortune could meet her. Soon she met the mysterious man from earlier. Upon hearing that he wanted to redeem her, the woman laid down 2 conditions. First, the wedding must be grand and full of celebration. Second, she could only be his one and only wife. Just when the woman thought the man would refuse, he agreed without hesitation. Thinking of the man's betrayal, the woman impulsively arranged the wedding. She told him to come in 5 days to marry her. Little did she know, the man she was impulsively agreeing to marry was none other than the emperor. Not only was his status infinitely higher than the scholar's, but his love for her was no less than the scholar's. The emperor had been bullied as a child. Every time the woman appeared to comfort him, giving him the courage to rise to his current position. So once the emperor learned that the woman was willing to marry him, he immediately ordered preparations for the wedding and arranged for her to be made his empress. Meanwhile, the scheming woman, unaware of the impending disaster, took people to the woman's mother's grave. She claimed this was the scholar's former backyard. Now that she had married him, she planned to level the place and build a small courtyard. The broken-hearted woman scolded them for having no shame, but the man said it didn't matter since the person was already dead. The woman never expected these words to come from him. At that moment she realized how wrong she had been all these years. Seeing that the woman refused to back down, the man, losing patience, called his servants. While controlling the woman, they grabbed a hammer and smashed her mother's tombstone. Now the woman had no more ties to this place. She planned to calmly wait for the mysterious man to marry her in 2 days, but the scheming woman came again, daring to provoke her. She called the scholar and his colleagues to the place where the woman worked. Intent on humiliating her, the scheming woman deliberately singled out the woman to serve her. Under her direction, the scholar's colleagues began to insult the